So there I am, 22 years old, happy, with good friends, a job I care about, and as I watch the fireworks, I think, right at this moment, everything's brilliant. But that's the problem with depression. It doesn't care. When it first comes back, I ignore it. Karen is the first to suspect.
Sally, we've got a lot of projects coming up. We need everyone focused. And quite frankly, you look stressed out all the time. Now, are you okay or do you need a holiday?
But I tell her I'm fine. I tell her I can handle it. And then I take on more work. I stay even later. Because if I can prove to her that I'm all right, then maybe I won't feel like this anymore. But I do. My mom just knows. She can just tell. She keeps calling me up and saying things like,
you should go back to the support group, or the counselor, or just go and see the doctor. Just for a checkup. You need to take care of yourself. You know that.
but I tell her I'm fine. I tell her she's talking rubbish. I tell her she's imagining things. And then I stop taking her calls altogether. I shut her out. But of course there's one person I can't get rid of.
Sally Mackenzie, just calling to say hi.
No matter what I say,
You don't want to go out? No worries. Shall I come around?
no matter what I do.
It's all right. We all forget to put stuff in our diary sometimes. I was only waiting outside the cinema for an hour or so.
He's like a spaniel. He just won't leave me alone. So I make him.
It's Thursday. It's 8 o'clock. I've got fresh pizza and biscuits. This is going to be a great night.
Toby, what are you doing?
I was just passing and thought you might like some company. Now, would you prefer Mario Kart or Smash Bros?
I don't want to play either.
Okay. What about movie?
No, I don't want to do that either. I don't want to do anything, okay?
Okay. Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? It's just you're saying you're fine with a face that's saying I'm definitely not fine.
I'm fine.
You want to talk about it?
There's nothing to talk about.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Sure, you're sure?
Oh my God, what do you want?
What?
From me, what do you want? It's Thursday night, you're here. I've said I want you to go and you're still here. I mean, Christ, you really have nothing else to do? Can you not even spend one night on your own? I said I'm not feeling well and I don't want you here, so can you please just go away?
Okay, this doesn't really sound like you're talking, so I'm just gonna ignore that.
No, I don't want you to ignore it. I don't want you to ignore me. I want you to listen. I do not want you here, okay? I don't want you or your pizza or your video games, and I don't care if you haven't got anywhere else to go. I am not your girlfriend, all right? This is not a relationship. I'm not responsible for you. Christ, we're not 7 anymore. Your parents can't force me to look after you. And I know you think you're doing a good deed here. I know you think you've got to come around and check up on me, but I don't want your help. I don't need your help. I mean, Jesus, what could you possibly do to help me? Literally everything good you have in your life has come because I've done it for you. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be working in a fucking McDonald's. And yeah, I felt sorry for you then, okay? But that doesn't mean I want to still be your friend now. I have a life, Toby. Unlike you, I have my own life and I want to get on with it, so please just take your pizza, take your video games, and please just fuck off and leave me alone! What? Are you expecting an apology? Because there's not one coming.
Right. Well, I'll just.
After he's gone, I realize that's it. There's no one left to feel guilty about. Realizing you might want to kill yourself is a bit of a strange moment. It's scary, but it's also kind of liberating. It's like you're at school taking a test, and you don't understand the questions, and you don't have the answers, and you're getting more and more frustrated until you realize it actually doesn't matter if you don't finish. Later that night, I look up the different ways I could do it online. Then I start putting my affairs in order. I pay next month's rent, I cancel direct debits, I leave a list of all my bank accounts so it'll be easier to shut them down. Then I write a letter. I try and explain. I try and put it all into words, but at the end I just say, I'm sorry. By the time I get around to actually doing it, it's late. I check the time as I run the bath. It's 2 a.m. I put my iPod on the dock and I start playing music. Then I get in. I'm wearing a t-shirt and pajama pants because I don't want the people who find me to see me naked. I've already taken some pills, so my head's feeling heavy as I take the knife. And then it's done. And I'm lying in the warm water. My mind's clouding over, my vision's blurring. And time starts to slowly fade away until it's just me and the music. And that's all it's ever gonna be now. For the rest of my life. No more struggling. Just me and the music. So I shut my eyes and I drift away. And then a song starts to play. A song that I know. A song from the mix that Toby gave me. A meatloaf song. A meatloaf song from the mix that Toby gave me to get to play. And as it does, I lie there listening and I think, I can't die listening to meatloaf. That can't be the last thing that I hear. I don't want the rest of my life to be bat out of hell. I want to listen to something else. And then I catch myself. I want to listen to something else. And suddenly I start thinking about all the songs on my iPod, and all the albums that I own, or the radio stations I could tune into, or the videos I could watch on YouTube. And then I start to think about all the songs that I'm never going to hear again. The songs I grew up with, the songs I've discovered, the songs I've loved. I start to think about them, and that makes me think about all the songs that I'm never going to hear. The bands that are just forming, the albums that haven't come out yet, the ideas written down on scrap pieces of paper that I'm never going to hear. I start to think about all the things that I'm going to miss, and then I realize I do want to listen to something else. I want to listen to something else. I want to listen to something else, and I can't because I'm lying in a bath about to die. And then, just for a moment, a voice somewhere inside my head says, maybe this isn't right. Maybe you don't want to do this. Maybe this is just the illness. Maybe somewhere deep down inside of you, you know there's still hope. And it's just a moment. Just one moment, but at this point, just one moment is enough. So I stand up. My head's like a giant weight on my shoulders. I have to grab the walls for support. I step out onto the bath mat and I remember what I've done. I go for the door, but what should only take a couple steps feels like the longest walk in the world. Finally, I make it out of the bathroom. But when I get to my phone, it's dead. I look for my charger and I can't find it until eventually I see it peeking out from under a pile of clothes. Please, I think, please. I see the Apple logo, then the background picture, then the icons on the home screen. I go into contacts and I find my mom. The phone rings for what seems like forever, and then,
Hello?
Mom?
Sally? It's the middle of the night.
Mom?
Sally? Sally, are you okay? Are you there?
Help me.
Sally! Are you okay? Are you there? Sally! Sally!
And just before I pass out, just before I can't go on, I say. No. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. My mom called 999 as soon as she could. The paramedics kicked down the door and took me to the hospital. After that, she moved me back in with her. I wasn't always the easiest person to look after, but she did. Toby came to visit in the hospital as soon as he heard. I tried to apologize, but he said he'd been to the doctor too, and they said he had temporary amnesia. So if I had said anything that I almost certainly didn't mean, he wouldn't even remember it. Karen signed me off of work. She said I could come back whenever I needed to. When I eventually did, she left a bunch of flowers on my desk with a note that says,
Next time, just ask for a fucking holiday.
It wasn't easy though. Sometimes I regretted not going through with it. Sometimes I thought about doing it again. But I didn't. I took pills and I went to therapy and I went running and I talked and I listened and I slept until one day I noticed the weather again. You can't just get rid of it. That's not how it works. But if you're lucky, you can learn how to live with it. You can learn how to live. And so, that's it. Well, at least for now. I've still got the rest of my life to live. And I know I said this was a happy story, but I believe that whether a story is happy or not depends on where you finish it. If you stop Forrest Gump right after he meets Jenny at the Washington Monument, it's a happy story. If you keep watching, she gets AIDS and dies. But for now, this is the end. Although there is just time for one last chapter.